It was a dark and stormy night. A group of 5 friends had decided to go camping in the woods, despite the ominous weather forecast. They had been looking forward to this trip for weeks, and they were determined not to let a little rain ruin their fun. As they set up their tents and started a fire, they heard strange noises coming from the woods. At first, they tried to ignore it, chalking it up to the wind and the rain. But the noises grew louder and more persistent, like something was moving through the trees. One of the friends, a brave soul named Sarah, decided to investigate. She grabbed a flashlight and headed into the woods, leaving her friends behind. As she walked deeper into the forest, she felt an uneasy feeling creeping over her. It was like something was watching her, stalking her from the shadows. Suddenly, she heard a rustling in the bushes. She spun around, pointing her flashlight in the direction of the noise. But all she saw was darkness and the silhouette of a tall, thin figure. The figure didn't move or make a sound. It just stood there, staring at her with glowing eyes. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine as she realized that she was not alone in the woods. She turned to run back to her friends, but she tripped over a root and fell to the ground. As she scrambled to get back up, she heard the figure approaching her, its footsteps heavy and deliberate. Sarah knew she had to get out of there. She got up and started running as fast as she could, the figure chasing her through the woods. She could hear her friends calling out to her in the distance, but she was too scared to stop and look back. Finally, she burst through the trees and stumbled into the clearing where her friends were waiting. They saw the terror in her eyes and knew that something was wrong. What happened? What did you see? One of them asked. Sarah tried to catch her breath as she recounted what had happened in the woods. The figure, the glowing eyes, the chase. Her friends listened in horror as she described the shadow in the woods. They didn't sleep much that night. Every time they heard a noise, they jumped, thinking that the shadow was coming for them. They huddled together around the fire, hoping that the morning would come soon and they could leave this place. But the morning brought no relief. As they packed up their belongings and prepared to leave, they noticed that something was wrong. One of their friends was missing. They searched the woods, calling out her name, but there was no answer. As they combed through the underbrush, they found signs of a struggle. Footprints, torn clothing, blood. They followed the trail of blood deeper into the woods until they came across a clearing. In the center of the clearing was a large, dark shape. It was the shadow. As they approached, they could see that it was not a person, but something else entirely. It was a creature made of darkness and fear, with long, thin arms and glowing eyes. It stood there motionless as they approached. One of the friends, a brave soul named Tom, stepped forward. He drew a knife from his pocket and prepared to attack the shadow. But as he raised the knife, the shadow moved. It was like a wave of darkness, washing over him and engulfing him in its embrace. Tom screamed in terror as the shadow consumed him, leaving nothing behind but a pile of clothes. The remaining friends turned